Right, what's up, guys? We're going to get stuck in and just lay down some foundations for our track. I'm kind of just going to wing this. I don't really know what we're going to be doing yet. I've just been playing around with a few ideas, but I'm wanting to keep this quite proggy, but still like a lot of trance elements. But I think let's just get the groove down first. So we're just going to put down a kick. I've just been tweaking kick 2 a little bit here, just to save you the trouble of me listening to hundreds of kicks. Just going to show you the layout. This was basically the default kick. I haven't really changed much at all, besides dropping the drive slightly and then just arranging the nodes like this. I'm going to be working in C. So what I've done is I've just got the sort of tail end of the kick in C so that it's slightly tuned, although I'm not super worried about tuning. And let's take a listen. I haven't changed any of the clicks at all, it's just the default. And I dropped the length of the kick down to 428 milliseconds, so that's nice and punchy. And yeah, these little bits here, just to kind of give it a little bit more punch in the beginning, and then just goes nice and deep afterwards. I might add a few layers to the kick as well at some point. Let's just drop in some notes. And there we go. Let's make sure those are max. And let's just grab the first 8 bars so we can kind of work on a bit of a groove here. Processing wise, I just want to add a little bit of a. In actual fact, we can probably just do this with EQ, base EQ. Just want a little bit of a boost around 100. Let's bring the volume down as well. Okay, we'll work with that and we'll see as we go. We might just come back and revisit some of this later once all the elements start falling into place. Now I'm going to do like a sub bass to go with this now as well. I'm going to grab Falcon. Yeah, Falcon. You could probably do this with kick as well, but I kind of like Falcon's little drum oscillator that you have available. So we're going to just create a new patch quickly. Let's do a new program. Let's actually get into tree mode first. Okay, so we've got parts. We're going to make a new program. And the new program, we're going to add a layer. And our oscillators are going to go into a key group in that layer. So we've got a sine wave there. We're going to change this to a drum oscillator. So I'm just going to right click on the oscillator there just to select a new one. You got a whole bunch of different ones here. You can do some really interesting stuff with Falcon. But I'm interested in the drum, the analog drum module. Okay, so you've got a mixer between the noise. We might actually do some hats with these later on as well. It makes really nice little shaker noises, and then you can obviously modulate them as you see fit. But for the bass line, we're just going to look at the oscillator section and make sure this is set to a C. We'll set it to C5. Cool. And we got velocity on the volume by default. So we can just play around with the decay of the pitch modulation on this now. I'm going to do a little bit of a shuffle for this track. Not a lot though, so let's just set up, I've actually got I've got quarter swings there. I don't want quarter swings. Let's just set up a saved preset for our quantize settings. So if you go to the open quantize panel, we're going to just dial in 15% swing, and I'm predominantly working in 16th notes, so I'm going to just save that as a preset. We just go add, and that quarter note preset I'm actually going to delete. We don't need that. So there we have 16th notes at swing 15%. So let's go put in some notes here to begin with. down here somewhere. Actually, let's just set this to C4 rather. And we're in our 16th notes. Let's make sure those, okay, those are quantized with a shuffle. Duplicate those out. Let's just change the volume so we get a bit more of a groove going there. Okay, so now we can play around with these settings here a little bit. So the depth is going to be, this is the amp envelope. Let's also actually just quickly before we continue, let's put in a mini chain on this one just to sidechain to the kick. Okay, now I can play around. The rate is how quickly the pitch is going to work. Currently there's no pitch bend happening at all. It's just a sine wave. So if we turn the rate down, we can bring up our depth. You're not going to hear too much now, but as you bring the rate back in, I just want to get a bit of that punch. That's better. Don't want to get too much there because we're going to fill up that mid-range area with some other stuff as well. Just select this one. Why is my select not working? There we go. That's better. So we've got a bit of a groove going there now with the sub bass, and I'm going to put in a mid bass layer now in this video as well. Just something pretty simple, but kind of like an arpeggiated kind of vibe. Let's do Anna 2. And I'm just going to copy these notes down. We'll move them around a little bit. For starters, let's just initialize this preset. We'll leave these ones all at max velocity and bring these up a little bit. Something like that. Let's try that out. Cool. Let's just quickly cut out the bottom end. Let's do it around 120 for now. And I'm going to set that to a right click on that, set that to the 24 dB slope. Just to get rid of the sub content from that, but not too much. I'm going to leave some of it in there. Just a mini chain on that as well. Okay, let's play around with the sound a little bit. And to keep this fairly simple, I'm going to put a second oscillator in here as well. Let's see. Let's do the first one. I'm going to bring that. Well, I'll leave that where that is for now. Actually, let's bring that down 1. We'll leave the other one 2 at 0. Let's bring this up 1. our first oscillator, number 1, we're going to sync that or re-trigger that one just so that stays the same phase every time it hits. It's not all that important in this kind of thing because it's not really the low down bass, but just going to keep it a little bit more tight there. Let's bring down the amp envelope. Okay, oscillator 2. Let's whack this one up to. Let's whack this up to 2 voices. Turn the detune down a little bit, but I want the width from this one. There we go. Might be worth actually just assigning that to one of the macros. I suppose we could just do that just with normal automation though. Let's get a filter on this as well. I'm going to go with the Roly. Actually, let's try out the Corgi as well. Korg actually sounds like a 12 dB. I don't want too much resonance in that one, so let's go with a Korg. And add a little bit of envelope to this. Change up the curve a little bit. It's going to make it a little bit more snappy, this one. In actual fact, I am going to set up a macro here quickly. Let's just see the mod. Let's do macro 1. And we're probably going to need macro 1 there as well. Let's assign macro 1 to the filter. We'll do filter master frequency and also to the amp envelope. Let's do amp envelope decay. Let's just see what happens there. We can adjust that accordingly. And let's also do another macro 1 and assign that to our amp envelope again. This time the release, maybe not full, just a little bit of release though. Let's try that out. We've just got an easy way now to just sort of open up everything a little bit without having to do 3 automation lanes at the same time. We can just open up. Cool. That might just come in handy later on. We just don't have to be doing tons of automation for the same thing. That sounds pretty cool so far. This one, let's just check what's going on with processing and stuff here. I might just roll the bottom end off this at around 30. And let's make it quite a steep slope. Let's try that. Yeah, just to get rid of any of the low rumble that we don't want there. Bring down the volume for this. and just add a bit of processing on this one for now. We'll do the same with this, just roll off the low. So be careful when you're doing like really steep cuts like that, because you can get a bit of phase going on, which you can use a linear phase EQ to get rid of, but then you kind of get the pre-ring, and I'm not super fond of using linear phase at all. I know some people like using it. I'm not a fan of that pre-ring, the timing issues that you get with it. I can't hear on headphones much of a difference going on there, but just to kind of make sure we don't have too much stuff underneath that. I'm not going to EQ this more now. We'll EQ that as we start putting more stuff in later. What I do want to add in here is a SPL twin tube, just to kind of get a little bit of grit into this bass and just saturate it slightly. I don't know if we'll bring in the harmonics, but you get a really nice, it's a bit excessive, but we'll just back off on that. Just kind of pushes the bass out a little bit more. Yeah, the harmonics is going to push too much of the high harmonics, and I don't want the harmonics increasing that attack that we have there. It's more just to kind of woolly up the bass a little bit, just to kind of bring out the tone a little bit more. And that sounds pretty solid to me so far. I might actually swap this out for a multi-band sidechain instead. Just don't want too much pumping going on, so we'll keep the lows pumping. We'll set a split point for the upper ones. And we'll actually just reduce the pumping on the higher section. So around 50. This could probably do with a little bit of reverb as well. I'm going to set up a couple of synths later on. I want to be able to have that effect on some of the sort of build-ups. But this reverb, I'm just going to make a really tiny little, just a bit of additional space for this sound. So I think that's a good starting point for now for the kick and the bass, and I'll jump into the next video and we'll start adding a little bit of groove to this. We'll drop in some percussion samples and then look at some sort of backing ambient stuff as well for the beginning of the track. But we'll go from there. I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.
Thanks everybody for watching, commenting and indeed liking. We really do appreciate all the support we get here on our Sonic Academy YouTube channel. So if you found this video super useful, please, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button. We update the YouTube channel every week with new content. And if you want to watch some more relevant content, just click on the videos beside me.